Hey y'all, it is Yolanda here from My Pretty Brown Doll and My Crochet Life. Welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time watching, I hope you find something that makes you want to stay, subscribe, and if you've been rocking with me for a minute, welcome back. Welcome back. So this is going to be another episode of This Week in My Crochet Life. However, it has been a couple of weeks since I've posted. Like, these are supposed to be weekly videos, right? And I did record last week, but I recorded it and then I started editing it, and then I never finished the edit, so it never got posted. And then I was like, do I do two separate videos or do I just make it one video? And I just decided, let's just make it one video. So this is an episode of the last couple of weeks in my crochet life. The last couple of weeks in my crochet life, and a little bit of personal stuff thrown in there too. It's going to be more of a, how do I run my crochet business? Like, what is it like for me to run my crochet business full time? So I'm going to give y'all like a little peek inside of that and kind of talk about that a little bit. So if you're interested, if you want to know what I've been up to as far as crochet and what it really looks like for me to run my crochet business full time, stay tuned. First things first, I do need to shout out to my supporters who are watching, liking these videos, who are commenting. Thank you so very much. The channel is growing and I am so excited about that. So thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please consider hitting that subscribe button, giving me a thumbs up, liking this video. All of those things do help. I also want to give a special shout out to those of you who are supporting me by buying me a cup of coffee. So most recently, Karen Grinstead bought me a cup of coffee and she left me a sweet note and she said, "Your light is shining brightly." Thank you so much, Karen. That means so much to me because sometimes when you put yourself out there, you're just like, is anybody watching? Is anybody paying attention? Do they get where I'm really coming from? Like, is my authentic self, like, because that's my whole purpose. I really want to show up as Yolanda. And I'm just like, do people get who I am? So when I get messages like that, it's like, girl, you get it. And I appreciate it. So thank you so much. If you want to support my ability to continue to do videos like these, you can also buy me a cup of coffee right here. So thank you, Karen. And thank you to everyone who has supported and continue to support this channel. Okay, so let's talk about what it is like for me to run my crochet business full time. And the reason I keep saying for me and emphasizing that this is about what this looks like for me is because I've seen other videos like this. I've seen people talk about like how to start your crochet business, things you need to do. And there are some general things that you can do to set up your crochet business. However, I think it is important that people take into account what their lifestyle is and currently is and what they want that to look like before they jump out and say, I'm going to have this crochet business. Because what works for me and what may work for you are like two different things. Like it could be totally different. And so like I said, there are some general things that clearly need to be in place for you to say that you're going to start any type of business, and some general things that need to be in place for you to say that you're going to start a creative or fiber business where you're using your two hands. But I think sometimes the part that is missed and that people kind of glaze over is, what does that look like dependent upon your lifestyle and where you currently are and what you currently want to do? There are a lot of sacrifices and things that I make in order to make this work for me. I went full time with my business back in 2017. At that time, I I'm not married. I'm still not married, but I was not married. I was not in like a committed relationship. I had one son who was, you know, in high school. So it was really kind of just me. Like I only really had to be worried about me when I started my crochet business. I also live in rural North Carolina. So my cost of living is not as high as somebody that's living in a major city. These are just things that you have to take into account. I lived in a really small house at the time. My expenses were just really low. Didn't have a car payment, none of those things. When I decided that I was going to go full time with my crochet business. Now, if your situation is different, that may not be an option for you. Like you may still have to keep your 9 to 5 if you can't make some of the sacrifices that I made. And if you don't want to, because that's the other part. There are some things that I'm not going to give up. There are some things that I'm just not going to do. And I also had to take those things into account to figure out, well, can I still make this work and still be able to do these things? And so I think it is super important that people, you know, when they talk about making money in their creative endeavors, that they take into account, well, this is what my lifestyle is and this is what this looks like. Now, fast forward to 2023. I am now 43 years old. I have a 21-year-old son and a 18-month-year-old son. And so, yeah, this year I'll be 44 with a 22-year-old and a 2-year-old. So that, you know, listen, and if you're wondering how that happened, well, I guess we know how that happened. Nobody's wondering how that happened, Yolanda. We know how that happened. But if you are, there are some people who are like, oh, did you plan for? No, girl, no. Did I plan for? No, I did not plan for this. I was on Empty Nest Express. I had a son who was graduating, who off to college. Baby, I was out here about to live my best life. I was supposed to be on somebody's island with somebody's son, not in this house with a 1-year-old. Like that was not in the plan. So when I say, if you're wondering how that happened, basically, long story short, I had lost like 60 pounds. I thought I heard the streets calling my name. Even though it was COVID and I knew that I wasn't really supposed to be in the streets, baby, I swore I heard the streets calling. And the good Lord was like, baby, the streets is not calling for you. I did not make you for the streets. I made you for that house. Go sit down. And I was like, boo, no, I hear the streets calling. And the good Lord was like, this girl don't listen. She don't listen. And so, boom, baby in the house. The streets are no longer calling. I was like, in the house, go sit down. And so, yeah, that's basically how I ended up with a whole baby at 40. I had him on my 42nd birthday. So yes, baby J and I do share a birthday. So I had him on my 42nd birthday. And like I said, this year he will be 2, I will be 44, and my older son will be 22. Baby J does go to daycare for half a day. I know who I am. And even though, you know, I run this business from home, I know that it's hard enough for me to do it. Before I had him, baby, it was hard for me to run the business from home. I just know who I am. And I know that I would not get anything done if he did not go to daycare for a period of time. And so he currently goes to daycare half a day. If I make some more money, he will go all day because, again, I know who I am. And in order for me to be the best mother that I can be, it is required that he goes to daycare, even though I work from home. Because I know there's a lot of people, oh, if I worked from home, my child would just be at home. And a lot of people are like, oh, I stay at home so that I can save money. That's wonderful for you. For me, I know that my child needs to go to daycare. And so because he goes to daycare for half a day, I do try to do as much as I can while he's at daycare. And so he gets dropped off at daycare at 9 o'clock. I normally run and go get coffee, or either if I'm not in the mood for having coffee, like going to Dunkin' or Starbucks, then I will come home and normally have coffee and breakfast. And I don't, like, daycare is not far, but I don't really get started on doing the things until like 10 o'clock, to be honest. And so really I have until from like 10 to like 12:50 to do as much as I can, because he has to be picked up by 1. And so normally during that time, if I do need to go to the yarn store, if it's the local yarn store that's close to me, then I'll do my kind of yarn shopping during that time. And then I record videos during that time. Pictures are taken during that time. Crochet work is taken during that time. Admin, like pretty much all the things I do try to do while he is at daycare. I can do some things when he's at home, but honey, he does not like for me. If I'm on the computer, he feels like he's supposed to be on the computer. And I went as far to even buy him like one of those little toy laptops. Smart. Listen, these babies are smart. I don't want that toy. I want the real thing like you got. And so it's hard for me to be on the computer that time. If I'm on the phone, he thinks that he's supposed to be on the phone. So it's difficult for me to do a lot of things when he is, because he just wants to do whatever it is I'm doing. If I'm crocheting, he wants yarn. And like I try to give him his own, and like, well, here, you can play with this crochet hook and this yarn. But baby, he's like, what? I want what you have, mother. Like, I want to be all up in your space and doing whatever it is you're doing. So a lot of times once he's home from daycare and awake and about and then it's just him. Whatever it is he wants to do, then that's what we're doing. And so, like I said, my time is limited, and I do try to squeeze as much as I can in that time period. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like for me. I do schedule like virtual things like in the evening time, because somebody else can watch him in the evening times. And he's on a pretty nice schedule as far as bedtime. He's normally in the bed no later than like 9:30. I know some people are going to say that's late, but that schedule works for us because he takes long naps. So when he naps, he takes a long nap normally. Now, if he's not taking a long nap, then he goes to bed a little bit earlier. But if he's taking a long nap, then he's going to be like, baby, 9 o'clock, 9:30, he's ready to be in the bed. By that time, though, I'm exhausted. I'm just like tired, and I'm ready to go to bed myself. But I do try to do some things when he is sleeping as well. Again, it just depends, because in addition to that, then I also do still have to take care of my house. There are clothes that have to be washed, bathrooms that have to be cleaned, vacuuming, because, he's putting everything on the floor. So all of these things still have to be done in addition to running my crochet business full time. I say all that to say that, for me, custom dolls are pretty much non-existent. I just cannot commit my time to customs. So I am trying to find other avenues and other things that I can do that don't require that type of commitment, which include things like books and patterns and other things just to grow my business, this YouTube channel. So I have to think long term, what is this going to look like for me? So as far as crochet, if you follow me on social media, and also if you follow me here, then you may have already seen the video, but we did finish a doll. We have our first finished doll of 2023. It is the Hillman doll here. I'm almost scared to take her down because I feel like all the other dolls are gonna fall, because I kind of had them set up really nicely, but they didn't fall. Good job. Good job, girls. So this is the first finished doll of 2023. It is this Hillman inspired doll. She is the second doll in my HBCU doll series. I did do a whole video talking about this doll design. So if you want to learn more about this doll design, I'll link to the video so that you can go watch that full video and learn about everything about her and what inspired me to actually make this doll design. So this doll design was finished on February 1st. So technically she was finished on like January 31st, but I don't consider my dolls like finished until they're like picture ready, and she was not picture ready until February 1st. And so I am happy that she is done. I'm happy that she was my first finished doll of 2023. Are you gonna stay up there? Okay, my first finished doll of 2023. So yay for that. What else have I finished as far as crochet? So we did get our second keychain of the second keychain in my temperature keychain project done. So this year for my temperature this is my first year doing a temperature project. I knew I was not going to be able to commit to a temperature blanket, so I said, girl, commit to doing temperature keychains. So Dr. Powell of TLP Brown Sugar Babies, she put it all together so that I wouldn't have to do that part. And then I just went and tweaked it to make it work for me. And so this is the second keychain. Yes, I know, baby, we is in February and I'm talking about this is the second week. So yeah, second week. Yes, I'm 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks behind. That, listen, it's conversation for another day. We're talking about what did I finish? She is done. Okay, this little string here, this is for when I get ready to make the keychain part. So like if you want to hook a actual key ring to it, you'll be able to do that. That's what that yarn is for. But other than that, she is done. If you missed the first one, this was the first one. As you can see, they are the same skin tone, the same hairstyle, because this was my dilemma with this. The temperature, so I'm using Saturday's temp to help me decide what the skin tone and what the hairstyle should be for these keychains. And the problem is, for the entire month of January, the high and low temps fell into the same skin tone and hairstyle bracket. Now, the good thing is I did choose 2 skin tones. However, if you watch my This Week in My Crochet Live, one of the issues I was having is whether or not I had the other color. And I hadn't checked to see if I had the other color. Well, I finally went and checked, and I do not have the other color. So then I went on an adventure to go find the other color, and I still didn't find the other color. So then it was just like, well, what are you going to do? Are you just going to go ahead and make the keychain in the same skin tone? And it was like, yes. So it's okay if you have 2 keychains in nutmeg. At this point, though, am I going to have 4 keychains in nutmeg? Maybe so, because unless I order the yarn online, but then I still got to wait for it to get here, and then I'm going to be fine. So listen, right now, it looks like all of them are going to be done in nutmeg. This is Lion Brand Skein Tones, and this is the color Nutmeg. The other color that I'm supposed to have is Truffle. And like I said, I went on a little adventure, which we'll talk about in a few minutes, to find Truffle. And baby, let me just tell you, so Michael's is about 45, it's like a 45-minute drive from where I currently stay. And I drove out there and it was trash. Like, the yarn section was trash. And I was very disappointed. And I was just like, Michael's, do better. Do better. Because what is this? Like, I drove 45 minutes and I took my son. I kept my son out of daycare so that I would not have to rush back to go get him. And y'all didn't even have what I was looking for. But not only did you not have what I was looking for, you didn't really have anything. And so I was kind of disappointed. I was kind of disappointed. And this was last week. This was like Friday of last week. But she's done. Nutmeg, we did 1 puff, with the head wrap, and I decided not to do the top knot. I was like, oh, let me do a bow, and of course a different fabric. I got this fabric from Hobby Lobby. It's really cute. I really like it. I don't have, because I wanted to show you the whole thing, but I don't have it here with me. But yeah, so that is the second week of January. So the second Saturday in January, temperature keychain. Let's talk about these Hobby Lobby. And I also took a trip to Michael's. So the trip to Hobby Lobby was definitely because I had seen some yarn that I was interested in. And then when I went back to the store, they didn't have the yarn. So this was my first trip to Hobby Lobby when I saw the yarn the first time, the Crafter's Big Idea, and I saw this color Sun Gold, and then I saw another color, I think it was called Ivory, I believe. But anyway, I saw the yarn. I was like, oh, I'm going to come back, because at this time, yarn was not on sale. If you know anything about Hobby Lobby, you know they do their sales. They do like every other week, the yarn is like 30% off. So this was not the week that the yarn was on sale. So I was like, oh, I'm going to come back. So this was the other color. Yeah, it was called Ivory. So those were the two colors that I was looking at. And then I went back. Okay, see, this is the little end cap that I saw last time I was in here. And see, they had this color called Sun Gold. That's what I was looking for. It was a gorgeous brown. Now they do also have this dark ivory that I was also eyeing, because it's really pretty too. The problem is, this is a big skein of yarn. Like, it's 810 yards. And what if I get it home and don't like it? Now I'm stuck with it. And I could have sworn that they sold this in a smaller skein, but apparently not. Code 1 to fabric, please. Code 1 to fabric. So, but I'm really mad, because I would have got the Sun Gold, because it was really pretty. I would have figured out something to do with the Sun Gold. But I don't like dark ivory enough to take it home. So it looks like the only thing we get in today is Oscar the Grouch. Okay, and so as I had said in that previous video, in the store, we did get Oscar the Grouch, because I got these grand ideas that I'm gonna actually make this hat. From Lion Brand, this Sesame Street One Hat Wonder little thingy. And so I got the Oscar the Grouch one because that's like my nickname for Jordan. Because this child just loves to trash. I hate to say, but he does. He always wants to be in the trash can. And I'm like, Jordan, why are you in the trash? Like, I have to hide the trash can. That's how much he wants to be in the trash. And so I literally call him Oscar the Grouch. And I thought that this was so cute when I saw it. It was $6.99 and that it was not on sale. Whether or not it was worth $16.99, for me it was. Now here's the thing. It says it's a One Hat Wonder and it's a free pattern inside. Now here's the crazy thing. I didn't even check to see if the pattern was crochet or knit. Let's hope that, is it a crochet pattern? Y'all, why is this hat a knit pattern? And I don't knit. I should have known that it was a knit pattern though, because as a crocheter, is this enough yarn to make a hat? I don't know. But it is definitely a knit pattern. Well, why didn't One Hat Wonder? Well, dang. Because, so am I going to need like another one of these to make my hat? Dag on. Now I'm trying to decide, was this worth it? Because now I'm just like, that's disappointing, because I don't knit. And so what am I going to do with this? I'm going to have to find a crochet pattern. And that probably means that I'm going to need another one of these. So yeah, but that's what I ended up getting for Hobby Lobby. I also ended up getting the heat bond tape, which I used to make her sweater And again, I talk about that in the other video. So that was my trip to Hobby Lobby. And then I'm trying to think what else did I do the previous week. So I had did I do a virtual? No, I didn't do a virtual event, but I did do the event at the North Carolina Museum of History. Had their African American Cultural Celebration on January 28th, which was the kickoff for Black History Month for them. And I got to be, I wasn't a vendor because it wasn't a vending event. It was more of a, because I don't want to even say it was an educational event. It was more like did you know that you could do this with crochet? This is just an example of how we can take this hook, this yarn, and create this beautiful thing. That's kind of what it was. It was just like a celebration of the art of crochet from my perspective as a Black woman, as a Black doll maker. And it was a really, really nice event. The event was absolutely beautiful. They had musical people there. They fed us. If you know anything about me, baby, what? Like, we took a break. Like, they had catered food. Okay, come through with the catered food. Send me to more events where they have catered food. Because those are the types of events I need to attend. Oh, we stopped to eat? Sign me up. Where do I sign up for this event? So, but it was really nice. And believe it or not, it was the first time that I've ever been to the North Carolina Museum of History. And it's a beautiful museum. Definitely going to take Baby J back because they have these activities for kids and things like that to do. They have like a theater in there. It was just really nice. It was a really nice event. I am happy that I was invited, and I already have the invite for next year. And so, yeah, gonna be there next year as well. But that was, like I said, that was January 28th that I did that event. And then the following week, like I said, we worked on this doll and got her done. I also mentioned that I took that trip to Michael's because I was looking for the Skein Tones yarn. And I was just really disappointed in that trip because I was just expecting, I had not been to Michael's in so long because it is such a drive. And I do have to take Baby J because if I'm, that's 2 hours out of my day. I don't want to have to rush back in order to make sure I can pick him up by 1 o'clock. So he went with me, and, he did really well, by the way. Like, we had time to look around the store and take our time, and there was nothing to look at. Like, it was just not, I was just like, what is happening? Like, Michael's, is this our yarn section? And I know different stores, different things, but I just was expecting better. And I was expecting for the Skein Tones to be stocked, and it was not. And so I was disappointed in that. I did, however, buy yarn, because who goes to the yarn store and not buy yarn? Like, who goes and not buy yarn? So I did have a buy yarn, and they were having it. So that's what it was. Buy one, get one 50% off. I was looking at my receipt here. And so I ended up, oh, dang. So, yeah. And clearly I wasn't paying attention to that in the store, because then I should have bought 4 if it was buy one. And I only purchased 3. So I got the Karen Simply Soft because I use this all the time for my wig caps on my dolls. This is the yarn that I prefer. And I actually was out of it. So I did get this in black, Karen Simply Soft. And then I got this Impeccable yarn. Now, I have not used a lot of this. I have used Impeccable yarn before, but not a lot. This is a exclusive to Michael's brand. And I got this in white, and I also got in this color is called White and Claret. And this is for my next doll in the HBCU doll series. And yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Because it was trash. I'm so disappointed in that trip. But this is what we got. This is what we came out of the store with. And clearly, I should have bought one more because, again, they were buy one, get one 50% off. I didn't even spend, did I get anything else? What else is up here? Oh, I got my son a Lightyear jumbo coloring book and some crayons because he loves Buzz Lightyear. And so, yeah, so he got that coloring book and crayons. And the crazy thing is, I don't even know where the coloring book is. I'm sure I gave it to him, but I don't know what he did with them. But yeah, so we got that. And I did, like I said, the yarn was buy one, get one 50% off. And then I also had a $5 Michael's Rewards voucher. So we used that as well. So we only spent like $12.17. Although yarn is high because that Caring Simply Soft is $6. What? When did this become $6? Has this always been $6? Because what the heck? I am just realizing that this says $5.99, and y'all ain't fooling nobody by saying $5.99. Baby, that's $6. I don't remember Caring Simply Soft being that expensive. Y'all, and it's been a while since I have like really purchased yarn. Well, how much was this? Impeccable. So Impeccable is $4.99, so $5. Jeez, Louise. Okay. I'm gonna have to start. And no, I did not check my stash before buying it. I maybe should have. I know I didn't have this, so I was gonna get this anyway. But geez, Louise, I did not know that if that was not on sale, it would have been $6. And technically it wasn't on sale. Yeah. Anyway, that's what's happening. Y'all, I'm kind of, if you can't tell, I'm kind of feeling some type of way about that Caring Simply Soft being $6 because I just don't remember it ever being $6. Like, when did that yarn become $6? But apparently, that's how much it costs. So that's where we are in my crochet life. That is what's happening. That's what things are looking like. If you have any questions, comments about anything, feel free to leave them in the description. What's coming up for me? I clearly need to catch up on my keychains. I need to catch up on my temperature keychains. I need to start this next doll. Like, I need to just make a decision and start. I need to start this next one. Thank you again for watching. Thank you for supporting this channel. It is very much appreciated. And I will see you on the next video.